What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're gonna go back to the Vandals. I'd like to give a shout out to Ska Punker, friend of the channel, and he commented when I reacted to Bad Religion's Hark, The Herald Angel Sings, that hey, this is actually a really cool Christmas album, second only to the Vandals' Oi to the World. Well, I don't have Oi to the World, but I do have some Vandals, so made me want to react to some more Vandals, so that's what we're here to do. I mentioned it before, I have on Time Bomb Recordings a sort of combination album. It's Peace Thru Vandalism and When in Rome, Do As the Vandals. It wasn't released this way originally. I think this is like a 90s thing. I think in the 90s, maybe it's 89. I think it's 89, and they re-released it as like a double album. So yeah, that's the one I got when I got into punk rock a few years after that. So we're going to listen to the first tune on Peace Thru Vandalism, which is called Be Manor. You know, when I was younger, the Vandals, I didn't like obsessively pay attention to the lyrics as much because it became clear to me as I started to listen that they have sort of a comedy style. It's sort of like, you know, absurdist and, you know, over the top and again silly in some ways, but very punk rock in another way. So yeah, I realized as I started listening to the song that I wasn't quite sure what it was suggesting, but it seemed to be like it's like a house somewhere in Huntington Beach. I think they're from Huntington Beach. I know they're from Southern California, and the track does make reference to Huntington Beach, so I always took that to mean maybe that's where they're originally from. But yeah, they basically go to this house, which it's like full of punks and, you know, let's say ladies of the night, you know, streetwalkers, and it's just, you know, there's trash everywhere, beer on the ground, you know, people have urinated in the hallways, and it's just like, you know, there's not a clean dish within sight. It's this awful place, and, you know, it makes like suggestive lines about what the kind of people that are there and, you know, what the sights and smells are like and what's going on. And then by the end of the song, it talks about how, like, the cops, you know, they break it up, or they tell them, you know, get the hell out of Huntington Beach. You know, you kind of, like, crazy, crusty punk shouldn't even be here. So I took it to be a kind of like, you know, they're on the sort of absurdish punk rock fringe, and, you know, the sort of place they came from, Huntington Beach, you know, just wasn't down with their kind of flavor, and, you know, the sort of authorities of that place wanted them the hell out of there. So I don't know if I'm reading that right. It's a long time ago, and again, I didn't like, you know, Propaganda and some other bands, Bad Religion, I would like, you know, rethink about each song repeatedly and like, man, okay, so what is this line? Like, what's that an allegory for? But the Vandals, it was more like I'm having fun, like, you know, thinking about taking LSD while going to Disneyland, which, you know, that's kind of the character of their song. So I feel like this is similar, even though in one way maybe it sounds like it has a bit more like socio-cultural commentary, like between the lines. Either way, let's get it. This is the Vandals, the first tune from Peace Thru Vandalism, and it's called Be Manor. That verse, I credit them for their like cheekiness. That sound right there is what I think of when I think of early Vandals. Such a tune. Again, it's cheeky, it's silly, it's absurdist. It's, it is what I remember. But again, I think a little bit between the lines, there's a little bit of like, perceptive socio-cultural commentary going on. But yeah, a really cool tune. It's, when I got the album, which again, I then realized shortly after, is like, oh, this is two albums, and, they came out like a few years apart, whatever. This opening track was like, oh my god, this was a good purchase. Like, without even hearing another song, I'm already like, I'm on board. This is cool. And again, there's great songs along the way here. Not just on this part, but on the When in Rome. Like, it starts, I think, with Lady Killer, and that's a classic song, and one of the first punk songs I heard to combine punk rock with like a country vibe, which is not something you normally expect. But yeah, bottom line, cool tune. If someone knows the group better, I think Ska Punker would be an example. Yeah, let me know if I'm kind of reading that song like wrong. I'm basing it on the memory and just what I heard there, but it sounds like it was kind of what I was remembering. But yeah, let me know what you think of the tune. I will see you next time. Peace.